The narrow streets of Varanasi buzzed with activity. Tuk-tuks honked, motorbikes sped by, and vendors shouted to attract customers. It was an ordinary morning until the sound of sirens echoed through the city. An ambulance, lights flashing, was trying to push through the crowded streets. Inside the vehicle, the paramedics were tense. Mr. Mishra, an elderly teacher from the city, was unconscious, his life hanging by a thread. "If we don't reach the hospital in 15 minutes, he won't make it," one of the paramedics exclaimed. The driver honked frantically, but then something unexpected happened. As they turned a corner, the ambulance was forced to stop. A dog was in the middle of the road. It was skinny, its fur matted, and its eyes seemed to plead for attention. Barking desperately at the vehicle, the dog refused to move. Residents, curious and concerned, began stepping out of their homes. Some shouted to shoo the dog away, others tried to lure it with food. But it wouldn't budge. It simply stared at the ambulance, as if trying to communicate something. "This dog is blocking the way. We need to get through now," the driver yelled. Among the onlookers was Dr. Ananya, a young and well-respected veterinarian in the area. She observed the situation closely, noticing something unusual in the dog's behavior. It didn't seem frightened or aggressive, it seemed determined. Ananya slowly approached the dog, kneeling in front of it. "Shanti, Shanti," she murmured, attempting to calm it. The dog looked into her eyes and, gradually, stepped back. For the first time, it trusted someone. The ambulance sped away, managing to save Mr. Mishra's life. As the residents dispersed, Ananya noticed the dog still standing there, trembling. He looked exhausted and hungry. There was no collar or any sign that he belonged to someone. Something inside her compelled her to act. "You're coming with me now," she said gently. The dog didn't resist as she scooped him up in her arms. At her clinic, Ananya gave him a bath, treated his small cuts, and fed him. He devoured the food with such urgency that his eyes welled up with tears. She decided to name him Shakti, a word that meant strength, something he clearly had in abundance. In the days that followed, Shakti proved to be more than just an ordinary dog. He was intelligent, loyal, and observant. However, something seemed to trouble him. He often barked at the door and grew restless during walks. It was as though he wanted to go somewhere, but didn't know how to convey it. As the crowd dispersed, Ananya noticed the dog still standing there, trembling. He was exhausted and starving. He had no collar or any sign of belonging to someone. Something within her urged her to act. "You're coming with me now," she said softly. The dog didn't resist as she picked him up in her arms. At the clinic, Ananya bathed him, treated his minor wounds, and gave him food. He ate with such desperation that his eyes brimmed with tears. She decided to name him Shakti, a word meaning strength, something he clearly had in abundance. In the days that followed, Shakti began to show he was far from an ordinary dog. He was smart, loyal, and highly observant. Yet, something seemed to trouble him. He often barked at the door and grew restless during their walks. It felt as though he wanted to go somewhere, but couldn't express where or why. The firefighters shared, with emotion, that Arjun had been investigating a series of arson cases when he disappeared. No one knew what had happened, but now it seemed clear, Shakti had been trying to lead someone to him. With Ananya's help, a search party was organized. Firefighters, residents, and Ananya followed Shakti through the streets and alleys of Varanasi, trusting that he would lead them to his owner. On a foggy morning, Shakti began barking frantically. He guided them to a secluded area near a shed on the outskirts of the city. He dug and barked, as if pleading for their help. Beneath a pile of debris, they found Arjun, injured but alive. He was weak, but still conscious. "Shakti, you came back," he murmured, tears welling in his eyes. Arjun was taken to the hospital, where he slowly recovered. He shared how Shakti had helped him survive during the days he was trapped. The dog had kept predators away, brought small scraps of food, and, above all, never left his side. When Arjun finally reunited with Shakti, the scene was tear-jerking. He embraced the dog tightly, while Shakti whimpered with joy. "You're my hero," Arjun said, holding the dog's face with his trembling hands. The story of Shakti and Arjun spread throughout Varanasi, touching the hearts of all who heard it. Shakti was not just a dog. He was a symbol of unconditional love, courage, and the powerful bond between humans and animals. As the sun set over the Ganges River, Ananya, Arjun, and Shakti walked together, ready for a new beginning, a story that no one in the city would ever forget. Don't miss the incredible story of Shakti and Arjun. A lesson in courage, loyalty, and unconditional love. If you also believe in the power of the bond between humans and animals, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for more emotional stories like this. Don't forget to share with your friends and spread this message of hope.